I do, however, have one more recipe that I want to share with you.
One of my favorites, which is a chuck roast recipe. I love cooking with chuck roast because it's less than $6 a pound. This is choice grade. It's just under 2.5 pounds. It's about a $12 piece, really affordable. You can find it anywhere. So what I'm gonna do with today is to make it into what I call poor man's burnt ends. A Kansas City burnt end actually comes from brisket. So effectively, they cook a brisket whole. They take the point end of the brisket, the fattier end of the brisket. After it's cooked, they cube the point into 1-inch pieces. They add seasoning to it that's a little sweet. They put barbecue sauce on it. They toss it in that. They put it in a pan and they put it back in their pit for about an hour. So the fat in that meat continues to render and the sauce caramelizes, and what you're left with is one of the most amazing bites in barbecue, probably top 3 barbecue bite for me. But first things first, we gotta season it. So it's my traditional seasoning, but it has a little sugar in it, which makes a great balanced barbecue rub, and it's amazing on burnt ends. So I'm gonna go pretty liberal with this application, pat it on, and I'm gonna season all sides. I'm gonna cook at 275. I keep all my recipes nice and simple at that temperature, but you can go kind of higher or lower depending on your preference. The key here is to impart smoke flavor and get it up to that internal temperature into the 190s. So just so you know, a brisket is tender just after 200. So that's why we're cooking this so high. We're not cooking it like a steak to, like, you know, medium rare temperatures and things like that. We're going much further with this, and it should be great. Our chuck roast has been rolling in the Traeger for about 2 hours at 275. It's not, you know, to the point of being tender yet. We're gonna check the internal temp. So we're just over 150 degrees. That's good enough for me to go ahead and wrap it, which will help tenderize it even quicker. So I'm gonna take a half pan and place my chuck roast in it. I'm gonna add a little beef broth, just a little bit in the bottom. So this will kind of act as a braising liquid. And then we're gonna wrap it tight in foil. So if I maintain the same temperature, probably gonna take just over an hour for it to get around 200 degrees. Check this in about an hour and get ready to have some supper. It's right here in the middle, and I can feel that it's tender. We're in the high 190s, so that means we're where we wanna be. You don't wanna go much further because it'll be really hard to cut. So, pull it off. Okay, so after we rested our chuck roast for about 15 minutes, with our buck knife, we're slicing this into about 1-inch cubes or so. So, you know, remember, one reason it was important to rest this meat is when a meat is near 200 degrees, it's actually really hard to slice. It's gonna wanna fall apart on you. Now what we wanna do is we wanna apply more seasoning, same seasoning we used in the beginning, because all these sides that don't have any seasoning that we just exposed, we wanna put a little seasoning on those, and then we're gonna toss them in sauce. The best way to do it is to just throw these in a little steam pan. So the flavor profile I like is a Kansas City sauce, so it's sweet with a little heat. And the key here is not to put too much sauce. Toss these around. You just want, the idea is to coat these cubes. You're not trying to pour an inch of sauce in the pan or anything like that. So now that your cubes are covered in sauce, tossed really good, you're gonna go back in your smoker, same temperature, don't change anything, and don't cover it. If you cover this pan, all of that sauce will run off. So for me, this is probably 30, maybe 45 minutes max. You could reach in and toss them one time if you want during that 45 minutes. And after that time, and they look how you want them, pull them out, let them cool, and go to eating. So there you have it. Nice and easy, 5 hour or less cook, poor man's burnt ends from elk camp. And I think in outdoor cooking, you know, there's not a ton of people that have specialized in it. Also, I think there's a lot of people that are frankly kind of afraid of game, even fish. They don't know how to cook it properly. They don't know easy ways. And so I'm excited to kind of share my passion for that with wild game.